Hey friend, welcome to the Fleximum Life podcast, where we chat flexible learning, parenting, wellness, and all the muddy, magical bits in between. I'm SJ, a former teacher, personal trainer, farmer's wife, and Flexi-Schooling mum, living the wild and wonderful countryside life. To keep up with all the chaos, I start my day with my favourite wellness pick-me-up, a raspberry energy fizz stick. It's packed with B vitamins, natural caffeine, and a fizzy little lift that keeps me going. Fancy trying them? You'll find a special listener discount in the show notes. Now grab your cuppa or energy fizz and let's dive into today's episode. Hey friend, in today's episode, I'm sharing why we chose Flexi-Schooling, the unexpected benefits, real life challenges, and what a typical week looks like for us. And whether you're just considering it or curious, I'm keeping it honest and helpful. Quick reminder, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at thefleximum life and check the show notes for a discount on my favourite energy fizz. Now, before we get started, you might not be familiar with this term Flexi-Schooling. So I'm going to give you an explanation of what Flexi-Schooling is and how we talk about it in the UK. So what is Flexi-Schooling? And this is specific to the UK. Flexi-Schooling is a legal arrangement that we have in the UK where a child is registered at a mainstream school but attends part-time, while the rest of their education is provided at home by the parent or guardian. So it's a blend of traditional schooling and home education, and it gives families the best of both worlds. You might choose to flexi-school your child so that your child can follow their passions, learn at their own pace, or enjoy a more calmer, balanced routine while still benefiting from school resources like the social time sometimes that they can have at school and also structured lessons. So let's talk about the difference between flexi-schooling and full-time education. So flexi-schooling is your child is still on the school roll. You arrange part-time attendance with the permission of the head teacher, and it's a hybrid model. So it's sometime at school, sometime at home. Home education, often referred to as home ed, this is where your child is not registered at school at all and you take full responsibility for their education full time. What's the key difference between flexi-schooling and full-time home education? Flexi-schooling is part-time and needs school approval. Home ed is full-time and fully parent-led. Both are legal in the UK. Now, I know that many of you listening to me are based in the US, and I don't know if this is something that you can do in the US, in Canada, outside of the UK, but it might be something that you want to actually investigate. So let me talk about flexi-schooling from our perspective, share a bit of our story and how we actually discovered flexi-schooling. So this happened about a year ago when we first moved to our new farm. We live in an area in the UK called Shropshire, and my daughter was transitioning into a new school. We had her in a school full-time prior to moving areas and moving farms, and we put her into a school that we thought was going to be good for her, and we moved her into that new school. It's quite a small school, and from the get-go we really noticed a change in her behaviour. Long story short, it wasn't a good fit for her. The school was too restrictive. Although all schools across the UK follow the national curriculum, this school was really putting a lot of pressure on my daughter Chloe. Their expectations were very different from the school that she had been in previously. The school that she was in previously had been incredibly nurturing. She had a lot of freedom of movement around her own classroom. And then they also used to have children moving and working across different classrooms. It was a very free, nurturing environment. And the school that we actually put her into was literally the opposite. It was more like a high school, secondary school setup. The children didn't have the same level of freedom And long story short, this was not a good fit for my daughter. And it really created a lot of trauma for her. She was refusing to go to school. She was having nightmares. I was that parent who was taking my daughter to school, who was crying and literally forcing her into school. And this was just not right. And I knew in my gut that this was not the right place and the right thing for my daughter. So her dad and I, her dad's called Tim, we actually decided to pull her out of this school and to home educate her. And in the UK, it's perfectly legal to remove your child from mainstream education and to home ed. And it's quite an easy process to do. All you have to do is to write a letter to the head teacher telling them that you're going to do this. And there are some really good templates for this letter that I will link in the show notes. So we did that. We took her out of school. We were home educating her full time. But I knew that she had previously enjoyed school. And perhaps it was just that we had picked the wrong school for her. And we were looking for a particular type of school that was very flexible, very easygoing, very nurturing, a lot of outdoor time. And we investigated some of the schools around us, different schools around us. She tried a couple of days in some of them, but it just did not work for her. Further investigation and actually having a conversation with one of the other head teachers from the schools that she was in actually introduced us, first of all, to this concept of Flexi-School. And she sent us the information and details of a particular school in our area where they were advertising Flexi-School. Now, in the UK, this isn't something that all schools do. It's something that you can request. And I'm going to put some more resources in the show notes to give you some more information about it. But I'm just really sharing our story right now. So we went to visit the school. We saw what a lovely, nurturing environment it was. We told them that we were full-time home educating, and they showed us the options that we had in terms of flexi-schooling. So long story short, we really liked the environment. We really liked the size of the school. It's very small, and their attitude was really, really great. So they were incredibly flexible and understanding and nurturing. And over time, we have had such a great experience. My daughter is really happy going into this particular school environment. And at the moment, she does 3 days in school. So the contract with the school is that she attends Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They call them the core days. And then Thursday, Friday, she is at home with me. So let's talk about some of the benefits, in my opinion. And obviously, these are my opinion. These are my experiences. So I think one of the key benefits of flexi-schooling your child is actually having the opportunity to have a stronger connection with your child, a stronger relationship with them. Now, of course, so many parents these days have to have 2 jobs and have to have 2 incomes. And the long and short of it is that children going to school gives parents the capacity to go to work. Now, one of the great things about flexi-schooling is that if you are a mum like I am, and perhaps you run your own business at home, maybe you have a part-time role, this gives you the opportunity to still work, but then also have some time with your child in that traditional school week. And I really love to have that with Chloe. I really think it has built this stronger connection with her because she is spending still more time with me in the week than she is in school. Because our kids are only young for such a short window, and we spend so much time taking them to and from school, putting them into after school clubs. And I really love this idea of flexible learning and flexi-schooling because it gives you the best of both worlds. They get access to the resources, but then also it's really, really great because you get to spend extra time with them doing things that they wouldn't normally be able to do in school. So really what I'm talking about here is a different, more personalized approach to learning. And we in the UK follow the national curriculum, which is quite restrictive. The new government particularly have they're going to be rolling out this new wellbeing bill, which I'm going to talk more about over the coming weeks, because it does really impact people who are home educating and flexible learning. But I really like this because it gives you both. You get access to the school and the resources that they have, but it also gives you a personalized learning opportunity as well. So it gives you more flexibility. It gives you the opportunity to fit in more wellness activities, more outdoor time. You get the opportunity to build life skills with your child as well. And I really like it. My daughter is very creative. She loves moving. She loves being outside. She loves dancing. And this gives her the opportunity to spend more time on the things that she really loves and not actually forcing her to be in a classroom. And the other great thing about that as well, I think, is there is less burnout for both kids and parents. School curriculum, I feel, as an educator and a teacher myself, is really intense. And I really feel that we are putting so much on our children. We're expecting them to learn so much. Schools and teachers are under huge amount of pressure from the government to hit certain targets with children. And I think that this approach really does reduce the anxiety, reduce burnout. And that is exactly what happened for us. So Chloe was in this school where there was a huge amount of pressure on outcome, on expectations, in hitting certain levels. And she was really exhausted, really burnt out, really stressed and anxious about school. And taking her to this new school with this more flexible, more fluid approach really just it's so joyful to see how happy she is. She wants to go into that environment. She has a great time. And I really would love to see this approach being rolled out across all schools. I would love to see that. Now, one of the key benefits, and I have already touched on this, and I think this is so important, is more time for creativity for children, more time for rest, more time for exploration. Being in a room, in a classroom all day doesn't give children that outlet. If they're creatives like my daughter is, it really does give them the opportunity to have those outlets and have that freedom and that rest time as well. Because even at such a young age, my daughter's 7, about to turn 8, even at such a young age, they're coming home with homework and spellings and reading and learning maths and times tables. And I just think it's really pressurized on them. And this flexi-schooling approach gives them the capacity to be able to rest more, which I really feel actually has such a positive impact on their learning. Now, we can also sort of talk about some of the things that we actually do. So in terms for us, in terms of benefits, I really love the opportunity to go on day trips with Chloe at the end of the week. So Thursday, Friday, we can go out. We've got a lot of places that we can go and visit. We go and get involved with some of the things that her dad is doing on the farm. It just opens up a whole new world of opportunity for her. Now, because we did also dip our toe into the home education full time, I think we've had the experience of seeing both. And we also made some amazing friends within the home ed community as well and joined in with some of their activities. So I think it gives my daughter this really fantastic best of both worlds of being at school and the resources that they have, but then also meeting other children who are different ages and who have different interests as well. Okay, so we've covered some of the benefits. Let's talk about some of the honest challenges. So first of all, I think one of the biggest challenges is that you are juggling it all. So you're juggling home education, work, parenting, and then also all the admin stuff that comes from school. And let's be honest, there is a lot of it. There is a lot of things to remember. So there is quite a lot to juggle. I think there's also a lot of pressure around this sort of feeling of making sure that you do it all right. And also, another pressure that I have found, another challenge, has been social judgment or the lack of understanding from others. And I think if you home educate, I think that's something that you can relate to. So when you are having a conversation, if you're out and about on non-school days with your child and you're talking about flexi-schooling, people don't understand it and they don't get it. Now, I often find that people are okay with it because I'm a teacher. They go, oh, that's a good idea because you can teach her, which is yes, but obviously anybody can educate their child at home. Now, in terms of managing things, what I do, and I will share some of this over the coming episode and how I manage it and juggle it, is I really do like schedule things. I think about what we want to do on the days where she's not in school, and then also having a real amount of flexibility and spending a lot of time carefully planning what I'm doing, what work I'm doing during the time that she is in school, so that I can focus on her and we can have some really good quality time when she is at home. Now, to wrap up this episode, I thought I'd share with you a bit of an idea of what our Flexi week actually looks like right now. So let me walk you through our week. So at the moment, our Flexi School agreement with my daughter's school is 3 days per week. So she attends school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So those are our core school days. And on those days, I do the usual getting up, getting ready for school, packing lunches, like all of those things that you would do on a normal school day. We also have some clubs that she does after school. She loves dancing. So we go from school to clubs often. The school that she does go to, it is quite a distance for our home. So on the school days, I actually drive quite a lot to get her to and from the school that she goes to. Now, this is a choice that we made because we wanted her to go to this particular school and we wanted this particular approach to education. And I have to say, this is one of the big sacrifices that we make. And one of the biggest costs is actually the fuel in the car taking her to and from school. Now, the way that you could potentially get around that is if there are other parents around you who want to do the same, you could share the driving. Now, a Thursday and Friday are the days that she is home with me. So we might do things like longer walks with the dog. We might do some projects, something that is sort of quite child-led, things that she's interested. We will do a lot of reading on those days. We also spend a lot of time like outside in the garden. We might have like projects in the garden that we're doing. And we also often will get some form of homework from school. So we might use that time to sort of catch up on any spellings, any reading, any maths that the school has set. So one of the really good things is that obviously most schools do set homework, but we have some time to do that on a Thursday and Friday. So it doesn't feel like she's doing homework after school on her school days. And one of the really good things that I like about the fact that we do drive quite a distance to school is that we're in the car together for sort of about half an hour. And it gives us an opportunity to talk, to chat, to get reading done, to practice spellings for school and all of that sort of thing, and sing songs. And that car time, I really value it. It's really, really high quality time. And what I do want to emphasize here is that this is about flexibility. It's about working out what works for your child. It's very child-centered, this approach, and working out what works best for them, thinking about their interests, things that they like to do, and using that non-school time to really like give them the opportunity to engage in that. And I think this is something that we're always going to be figuring out. And of course, I want you to come along with us for this journey. Now, just to wrap up, I want to say a massive thank you for joining us, for joining me, listening to this first full episode of the Fleximum Life. I hope you found it interesting. Please come and follow me over on social media, Instagram and TikTok at the Fleximum Life. The link to my website and my email address is also in the show notes. So if you would like to share your Fleximum journey, your home educating journey, please drop me an email and we can chat about you coming onto the podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend who perhaps is interested about flexi-schooling and home education. This really does help to get the message out there. And flexi-schooling is something that I would love to see rolled out in the UK and across other countries as well, because I love this flexible approach to learning. And I think in this modern world, we really, really need to be thinking about changing the narrative around education. And this is such a good combination of the two, of bringing the two together. And I just want to also invite you to go and grab yourself some energy fizz with the special listener discount in the show notes. I have been drinking that drink throughout this whole episode, and it really is like sunshine in a cup. I really, really want to encourage you to come along and listen to the next episode. I'm going to be talking more about wellness. We're going to be digging into how we actually plan our learning days without any pressure and without any Pinterest perfection. So I hope to see you then. Thanks so much for listening to Fleximum Life. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode, and come say hi over on Instagram at the Fleximum Life. If you need a boost, grab my favourite raspberry energy fizz sticks. The link with a cheeky discount is waiting for you in the show notes. See you next time for more learning, mum life, and a bit of fizz.